Good afternoon and welcome here to Winter Holder Field here on the campus of Taylor University for today's first of two games here in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament. Our first matchup pits Huntington, the 3rd seed, against the 2 seed Taylor. These two teams met on Saturday, the Trojans winning 4-2 in 12 innings. Tanner Watson was the hero then, getting the getting a single with the bases full there in the top of the 12th. Rob Fox was the one who picked up the win, going 4 innings, a career high, and put Taylor in to the game yesterday. They fell 4-0 to Marion. They've hit into 7 double plays here in the last 2 contests, and they'll try to change that here today against Huntington. On the mound today for the Forsters is the 6'2 junior left-hander Connor West. He's out of Huntington, Indiana, and he pitched in the very first game for the Forsters back against Mount Vernon Nazarene. That was on Friday. West comes in 6-4, the overall record, 1.88 his ERA. He's appearing and starting in his 11th contest. He's allowed 18 runs, 12 of which have been earned. He has struck out 61 batters, the most by any Huntington pitcher this year, and he's walked 25. And the Trojans will bring up their normal first 3 in the orders. They will set the lineup after this first pitch here to Whitman. There has been one change here for TU. And Whitman takes the ball up high to start this one off. Our umpiring crew today, Jerry Smith behind the plate, Trent Manning at first, and Don Porter is at third. Wyatt Whitman has had struggles here in this Crossroads League tournament. He has had 7 strikeouts after the last 2 games. He struggled against starter DJ Moore on Saturday, and now he goes ahead 2-1 here against West, here to start things off in the top of the first. The winner of this game will take on Marion tonight at 6 o'clock. If the winner of this game will be able to defeat the Knights, we'll play one more game tomorrow to decide a league tournament champion. So Whitman goes ahead 3-1. Lane will follow, and then Nathan Taggart. West, the lefty, out of the windup. And that one will be a leadoff walk here for Wyatt Whitman as he gets things going here for TU. Came in batting 4 for 12 here in the Crossroads League tournament. Now we'll bring up one of the hottest bats here in the tournament so far, Josh Lane, the Taylor shortstop.
Now batting shortstop, Josh Lane.
No Tanner Colby at second base today for TU. Brett Lawson slides over to second. Jared Atkins, the DH today. Christian McGill gets the start. He is over there in right. West out of the stretch. A bunt up the third base side by Lane will bounce foul. The defense behind West this afternoon, Nick David in left, Donovan Clark in center, Adrian Perez in right, Kyle Selvey at third, Adam Rozier at short, Jamar Weaver at second, Tyler Zimski at first, and Hunter Loskamp, the man behind the plate. Lane 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a stolen base yesterday in the setback against Marion. Batting 5 for 10 in the Crossroads League tournament, in the top 10 in the batting category. He'll line one into left, and that'll be a hit here for the Trojans to start things off. So the first 2 men have reached base safely. A leadoff walk for Whitman and a single on a line drive to left for Josh Lane, and that brings up Nathan Taggart. First 2 men have reached base safely here for TU. Whitman at second and Lane at first. And Nathan Taggart at the plate as they lead off the top half of the first inning. Taggart will foul off the first one here. And it's in there for strike 1. So a leadoff walk to Whitman, a single to left for Josh Lane. And Taylor trying to get on the board first here like they did against Huntington on Saturday when they scored a single run in the first 2 innings. And that one low, covered up by Loskamp, and the count squares at 1-1. Taggart 1 for 4 yesterday against Marion, batting .308 here in the Crossroads League tournament. 4 for 13, has 7 runs batted in, and 2 home runs. The 2 long balls coming against MVNU on Friday. First and second, nobody out. Top of the first, and Taggart will foul it off to our right one more time. Connor West making his second appearance against TU this season. 0-1 the overall record, 2 1/3 innings tossed, a hit, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 2. He's ahead 1-2 here on Taggart. He pops this one up to the right side of the park. Zimski in foul territory, plenty of room to work with, and there's the first out of the inning here for TU. Still first and second here for the Trojans. Whitman with that leadoff walk. He stands at second, Lane at first. And that brings up this year's Gates Howard Award recipient, Tanner Watson. Breaking ball from the lefty West is in there on the outside half for a strike. Tanner 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk and a strikeout in the loss last night to Marion. 3 for 10 here so far in the Crossroads League tournament, but one of those 3 hits put Taylor up 4-2 in the top of the 12th, as we mentioned on Saturday against this Forester Ball Club. He'll foul this one off the inside part of his leg and makes the count 0 balls, 2 strikes. Tanner against Huntington this season in the 4 games, the 1 on Saturday and the 3 regular season contests. One of the best bats against Huntington pitching, batting .467, going 7 for 15, 4 runs batted in, 4 walks. He's got 2 on here, 1 out. Whitman and Lane, second and first. No score as we start play here in the top half of the first inning. Winner gets Marion later tonight. Watson to right field. But right there is Adrian Perez. 2 gone for TU. They had this situation twice last night against Marion where the first 2 men reached base safely, then the next 3 were retired in order. It'll be Sam Weiss, the center fielder, trying to change their luck here in the top of the first this afternoon.
Now batting center fielder Sam Weiss.
Sam trying to get going here, was batting extremely well coming into the Crossroads League tournament. Batting .455 in the 10 games to end the regular season. He's 3 for 14 here in the tournament starting back on Friday. Pickoff attempt to second. Whitman will step back. The second baseman, Jamar Weaver, there covering. As Whitman and Lane, 2 of the most expert base stealers for TU. Lane with 22 swipes on the year. Whitman with 24. That's third and second. With Jared Atkins, who's on deck, the leader of 31 stolen bases here in 2018. A fastball to the righty Weiss is outside. As Taylor tries to go ahead 1-0 here with the first 2 men reaching base safely. 2 outs in the top half of the first. And now it's 2-0 on a fastball up high and away again. Taylor in the purple jerseys, gray numbers and gray letters, with the gray pants and the purple socks. Huntington in their green uniforms, with white numbers and white letters trimmed in black and the white pants. 2 balls, no strikes to Weiss. Whitman increasing that lead. A check swing on Weiss. He holds the bat back. Now he's ahead 3-0. Third base open after the walk to Whitman and a single to Lane. Jared Atkins waiting on deck. 2 outs, 2 on, top of the first. And Weiss ahead 3-0 against West. That one will find the zone to make it 3-1. Sam batting .332 this season with 62 hits, 9 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. Whitman increasing that lead at second, and the 3-1 will be fouled to the left into the parking lot it goes. Full count to Weiss as West tries to get out of this, what was a 2-on, no-out jam to start off the top half of the first. He's retired the last 2 men in order, and now he's got the count full to Weiss. Payoff pitch. Runners go, and Weiss will foul this one to the parking lot once again.
Jerry, got it?
76 degrees here in Upland, Indiana. Wind blowing in from right field as Weiss gets ready for another 3-2. Runners go. Golfed, but foul, right field side. Weiss, a 6'1" senior from West Des Moines, Iowa. 0 for 3 last night with 2 strikeouts and a walk against Marion. Just 3 for 14 coming in here in the tournament. 294 against Huntington in the 4 games played before today. This will be pitch number 8 to Weiss. He's got first and second, 2 outs, top of the first. And the curveball upstairs, and West will walk him full for Jared Atkins. Runs here in the first inning would do wonders for TU as they struggled to drive anyone home yesterday, losing 4-0. It was the first shutout here on the home field for TU, dating back to 2015. 109 games was the streak that got snapped last night, losing 4-0. Off speed from West, and there for a strike to the DH, Jared Atkins. A similar streak broken as well for third-ranked St. Thomas out of Florida. They had their shutout streak snapped as they were shut out last night in their league tournament. That dated back to 2015 as well. Second one to Atkins, to the left side, but right to the shortstop, Rozier. He'll underhand it to second, and the Trojans will leave them full here in the top half of the first inning. No scores. We head to the bottom of the first. We'll see the Huntington order for the first time today. This is Taylor Baseball, the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. Founded in 1950, Central Indiana Orthopedics began its tradition of offering compassionate expert treatment for patients with bone, joint, and muscle injuries and conditions. CIO doctors and staff continue that tradition today and provide specialized care in the following areas: ankle, back, elbow, foot, hand, hip, joint replacement and revision, knee, neck, physical medicine and rehabilitation, shoulder, spine, sports medicine, and wrist. CIO has locations in Anderson, Elwood, Fishers, Marion, Muncie, and Portland. The Anderson, Muncie, and Fishers offices also have walk-in clinics for acute injuries less than 2 weeks old, which do not require a referral or appointment. The doctors and specialized staff of CIO proudly serve as the official team doctors for Taylor University, as well as several area high schools and universities. To make an appointment or find out other information about Central Indiana Orthopedics, they can be reached at 800-622-6575 or at ciocenter.com. So Taylor able to load him up there in the top of the first with 2 outs, unable to do anything with it after the first 2 men reach base safely. And now we'll see if Huntington gets some runs up here in the bottom of the first. They'll bring up Donovan Clark, Jamar Weaver, and Adam Rozier. Here's they lead off the home half of the first inning. And a fastball from Patton will miss low for ball 1. Matt Patton, the start of the mound today. He's a win away from breaking the single season record for wins. He has 10 so far in the year. Second one to Clark. He'll pop this one up to the sky. Lane at short, sunglasses down. No clouds overhead, and he makes the catch at short for out number 1. One more strikeout for Patton will also break the single season mark that he holds currently with future Taylor Hall of Famer Josh DeGraff. Patton 10-3 on the year, 93 strikeouts. That ties DeGraff's mark from a handful of years ago. In 85 innings thrown this year, Patton, the 93 strikeouts, just 6 walks. He's allowed 24 runs, 19 of which have been earned. Now batting will be the right-handed bat of Jamar Weaver, 5'11" from Shipshewana, Indiana. Breaking ball away, and Weaver up 1-0 to start. Weaver had at least 1 hit in both games yesterday for Huntington as they battled back out of the losers bracket, winning 10-3 over Mount Vernon Nazarene yesterday at 10 a.m. Then they went back and went to some classes yesterday on the Huntington campus, then came back last night and knocked out Indiana Wesley in the top seed 11-3. Third one, much like the second one, finds the bottom half of the zone and makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Weaver 2 for 5 in the win over Mount Vernon. 1 for 4 with a double. Drove in 4 runs against Iwu last night. And Patton goes back to the slider, and that misses to make it 2-2. We were batting .277 this year, 41 hits, 9 doubles. He's driven in 25 runs. 2-2, he'll swing and miss. Picked up by Watson. He'll throw it down to first. And there is Matt Patton's 94th strikeout of the year, the most strikeouts ever thrown by a Taylor pitcher in program history. He'll throw the ball to the dugouts, and that one will go back into his collection onto his mantle inside his dorm room. So he's knocked one record off the checklist today. He's early on in this game, but he's trying to knock off two, as we mentioned earlier. Coming inside, Rozier will swing and miss. First lefty that Patton has faced today. 2 outs and nobody on, no score, bottom of the first. Rozier, a 5'9 junior from Rowan, Indiana. A pair of hits in both games yesterday. He couldn't check his swing on the second one. And now he's down 0-2. A double and a solo home run in the 2 games yesterday. And 3 runs batted in total. In the top 5 in runs batted in here in the tournament with 8. And a fastball to the outside corner will miss. And the lefty Rozier gets ready for the 1-2 from Patton. The righty out of the windup. The pitch. Bounces in. Watson will chest it away. 2-2 the count. Defense behind Patton today. Whitman in left, Weiss in center, McGill, as we mentioned in the first, getting the start in right field today. Taggart moves over to third. Lane at short. Lawson moves from third to second. Kennedy, who's been the DH for most of all this tournament, now is at first. And Tanner Watson behind the plate. 2-2 over to Kennedy at first. He fields. He'll underhand to Patton. And one of the top candidates for Crossroads League Player of the Year, or Pitcher of the Year, gets a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the first. We've played one from Winter Holder Field. Winner gets Marion tonight at 6. We have no score. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
No score after 1. The first baseman, Andrew Kennedy, will lead it off. Taylor loaded him up with 2 outs in the top half of the first after the first 2 men of the inning reached base safely, unable to do anything with it. We'll see if Kennedy can do here. He's had a good tournament so far. And a curveball from the lefty West will miss away for ball 1. Andrew 1 for 4 last night in the loss to Marion, but he's had one of the best batting averages here in the Crossroads League tournament as he misses on the second one to make it 1-1. Starts the day batting .417, 5 for 12, slugging .167, has the most total bases in the tournament so far with 14, and a tournament best 3 home runs. Goes ahead 2-1 here against Connor West. Kennedy had the 2 home runs against Mountford and Nazarene on Friday as the Trojans hit 7 in that game against the Cougars. 2-1 away, now 3-1. He had a solo homer against Huntington on Saturday to put them up 2-0. As we mentioned, homerless yesterday against Marion. 3-1 the count as he leads off the top of the second. And West will deal one in that Kennedy will foul off, and the count now full once again. Kennedy, Lawson, and then McGill. The 3 here for the Trojans in the bottom third of the Taylor order. Payoff pitch from West. And Kennedy makes contact, but will send this one out to the parking lot. And that one was close to a car, as you can tell from the ooze down below. Another 3-2 from West. And Kennedy will stay alive, fouling this one off of right off the inside of the arm of home plate umpire Jerry Smith. And that one might have caught him right away from where the chest protector is. Head athletic trainer Casey Hackman jogs in to check on our umpire behind the plate. A lot of interesting eyes on this contest today. For those still hoping for an at-large bid to the NAIA National Tournament, Taylor has already wrapped up one of the 9 hosting spots. That'll start play next Monday, but only 14 at-larges in the 45-team field. 3 of those have already been spoken for with 3 hosting sites, Taylor being one of those. Then you look at the rest of the national rankings. It's close to maybe 7 or 8 teams in the top 10 have been eliminated from their league tournaments, so they'll definitely make it. So you're looking at maybe about 7, maybe 8 at-large bids still up for grabs. And if Taylor would lose today or tonight or tomorrow against Marion, if they don't win this Crossroads League tournament, they're going to take an at-large bid from one of those other teams that are still trying to maybe sitting on the bubble. So a lot of Taylor Trojan fans around the country from different NAIA baseball teams hoping to make their way to the national stage. Everybody finds out where they'll be going on Thursday as Jerry Smith, back to his feet, gets a nice round of applause from the fans here down below us. Thursday at 4 on the NAIA Facebook page is where they'll announce the 45 teams that will be competing for the 2018 NAIA National Tournament Championship. Kennedy will step in. It'll be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. The count 3 balls, 2 strikes as he leads off this top half of the second. We are scoreless between Taylor and Huntington. Wind blowing in from right. The pitch low, and that'll be another walk here issued from West. His 3rd here of the afternoon, had 2 in the top of the 1st. And for the 2nd inning in a row, the leadoff man walks for TU. Now batting will be the 2nd baseman, Brett Lawson.
Now batting 2nd baseman, Brett Lawson.
Brett's been playing the hot corner here since Friday, but moves over to 2nd today with McGill getting the start in right. They move Atkins to be the DH, as we discussed in the 1st. And West will miss low with a fastball for a ball. No score, top of the 2nd. Leadoff man stands over there at first base for TU. And that is Andrew Kennedy, the first baseman today. This one well hit left side. Backhand snag by Rozier. They get the out at 2nd over to 1st. And that's the 8th double play Taylor has hit in since their game on Saturday. 6-4-3, and there are 2 outs here for TU in the 2nd. They hit into 4 against Huntington when these 2 teams met on Saturday. They hit into 3 last night against Marion. And they hit into 1 here to get the first 2 outs here of the 2nd.
Now batting right fielder, Christian McGill.
So it'll be Christian McGill. He's been used exclusively as a pinch hitter here in this league tournament. And he'll swing and miss mightily on the first one from West. McGill walked last night, pinch hitting for Tanner Colby, the guy he bats for in place of the lineup today. Big looping curveball from West puts him ahead 0-2. West quickly working here. The 0-2 to the outside part of the plate. It'll be fouled away, and McGill stays alive. Christian batting .302 this year, making his 6th start of the season, and West will miss badly in the opposite batter's box for the first ball. McGill, 5'10" sophomore. As we talked about last night, he's got the inside track to be a starter in the outfield next year with the graduations of Weiss and Atkins here at the conclusion of 2018. 2 strikes and a foul ball, then 2 balls outside the zone, count even 2-2. 2 outs, nobody on, and McGill will go down off strikes. Swinging and miss as Connor West gets his first K of the afternoon, and Taylor hits into their 5th double play here against Huntington in the tournament, and their 8th here in the last 3 games. We are to the bottom half of the 2nd with no score. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com.
the catcher, Hunter Loskamp.
Taylor's put 4 men on. They've been unable to do anything with it through their first 2 times up at the plate. But a 1-2-3 inning for Patton in the first, including his 94th strikeout of the year, which is the most in a single season by a Taylor pitcher, has kept Huntington off the board here. Loskamp, Davitt, and Lichty, the ones coming up here for the Foresters. And the breaking ball nicely thrown to the outside corner from Patton for a called strike. Loskamp 1 for 9 yesterday in the 2 games that Huntington won. Had 3 strikeouts, a walk, and was hit by a pitch. Thought about going after another slider away, but he keeps his eye up, and it makes it 1-1. Loskamp, 6'2" senior out of Milford, Ohio. Third one from Patton. Big swing and a miss as that one tails away from the big righty, and it's 1-2. Loskamp had a home run on Saturday to get Huntington on the board. They would tie the game in the 8th inning, and then we'd go and play things at 12, and Taylor would come out on top. 1-2 to Loskamp. Far away again, and the count squares at 2 apiece. Loskamp batting .233 this year, 31 hits, 8 doubles, and 4 home runs, which is second most for Huntington this season. But he's driven in just 14 runs here on the year for those wearing green today. 5th pitch, gets him to pop it up to the right side of the infield. Patton's got it. Now he's in foul territory, and he makes the catch just off his left shoulder. And there's one out here in the bottom of the second for Huntington.
Now batting left fielder, Davitt.
1 out, no one on for Huntington. The winner of this game gets Marion tonight at 6. The Knights have just arrived here to Winter-Holder Field as they try to make it back to the national tournament for the 2nd year in a row. Fastball missing on the outside half. And the lefty Nick Davitt has a ball to start his at-bat off. With Indiana Wesleyan being knocked out last night, 2nd pitch, down the middle to even it up at 1-1. The winner of the tournament will secure that 2nd automatic bid for the Crossroads League, no matter who makes it against Marion. 1-1 to Davitt. Hard hit right side, but pulled foul. It was Huntington and Marion last year in the Crossroads League Tournament Championship, with the Foresters securing the regular season automatic bid. Marion automatically went. I think they were down in Kingsport, Tennessee last year. The 1-2. And it remains 1-2. 1 out, no one on here in the bottom of the second for Huntington. As the Foresters, as we mentioned, winners of the regular season title back in 2017, went back to the national stage. Patton comes inside, scooting out of the way is Davitt, and the count squares at 2 apiece. Davitt, a 6'3" freshman out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Had a hit in both games yesterday for the Foresters. 2-2. And that one just above the letters on a fastball to make the count full. 1 out, nobody on for Huntington. No score here in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Patton into the windup, the pitch, and a couple hops to Lane at short. Fields it to the left of his leg, a high throw. Kennedy pulls it down on one leg, and there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd for Huntington with no score.
Now batting the DH, Daniel Lichty.
First time we've seen Daniel Lichty in a while. Did not play in the first game yesterday against Mountain Vernon Nazarene. It's actually going to be the first time that he's played against Taylor here this season. He's a 5'9" freshman out of Canada in Ontario, and a switch-hitting outfielder. So he bats lefty here against the righty throwing Patton, and the first one will find the zone. Lichty 0 for 1 last night with a run scored and a walk, or a strikeout, excuse me. He bats here with 2 outs and no runners on, and he'll swing and miss at a breaking ball, and he falls behind 0-2. Lichty playing in his 30th game, a .378 average, 34 hits and 90 at-bats. The 0-2 from Patton. Inside half. Ooh, just misses to the lefty. At this time, Lichty. 1-2. Strikeout already today for Patton, his 94th of the year, as we mentioned. The 1-2. And Lichty will foul it off. Huntington's bats have been great here in the league tournament. 5th best batting average, 3rd best slugging percentage, most runs scored, 2nd most hits. Tied for 2nd in doubles. They have the most triples with 2, and they have the 2nd most home runs with 4. The 1-2 again. Fought off the end of the bat. Patton will pounce on it to the left of the mound. Fires a low one that Kennedy can't pick over there at first. And the first base runner reaches today here for Huntington. As Patton had to get over there quickly, threw one low. Kennedy unable to pick it. It's a throwing error on the pitcher, Matt Patton. And so there's one on here for the Forsters, and that will bring up Tyler Zimski, their first baseman.
Now batting first baseman Tyler Zimski.
So the first miscue for Taylor defensively here today. Yesterday they committed 2 errors, and both helped aid the 4 runs for Marion. To the outside corner, Patton goes. It's in there for a strike to Zimski. Zimski, a senior out of Fort Wayne. 2 for 7 last night, with 4 runs batted in, including a 3 RBI triple in the nightcap against Indiana Wesleyan here under the lights of Winterholder Field. 0-1, lifted high in the sky to the left side of the park. Lane screams for it, and he makes it. And so the error with 2 outs does no damage. We've played 2 innings here from Winterholder Field. The winner gets a chance to try to keep the tournament going against Marion here later tonight. And we have no score between Taylor and Huntington. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Left field, Wyatt Whitman.
Second time through the order here for the pitcher Connor West for Huntington. It'll be Whitman, Lane, and Taggart. Trojans still scoreless here with Huntington. And they have the only hit of the day. Whitman will go after the first one here from West and foul it to the backstop. Wyatt reached on a walk to lead the game off. Then Lane, the man on deck, would follow with the single. The Trojans, though, unable to do anything with those first 2 men on, but then Whitman's going to rope one to the left center field gap, and this will definitely be extra bases as it bounced on the left center field fence. Whitman will coast into second as Donovan Clark picks it up from the track, and Wyatt Whitman, who has struggles at the plate the last 2 games, will bullet one to the left center field gap, a double for the Trojans, just their 3rd here of the league tournament, and a man in scoring position here for TU as Whitman leads off the top of the 3rd with a double. So welcome back, Wyatt Whitman.
Now batting shortstop Josh Lane.
3rd inning in a row, the Trojans have gotten the leadoff man on. It's been Whitman twice, and then Kennedy did so with a walk back in the 2nd. No score. Lane, the only other hit of the day. He steps in here to face the lefty West. Zimski, the first baseman, creeping in, anticipating a bunt. Here's a square from Lane, and he'll take it for a strike. Wind picking up here for Wyatt. That's his 14th double of the year. 4th most by a Trojan this season. They came in with 117 doubles here in 2018, now just 3 in the Crossroads League tournament. That was the 2nd fewest by a league team in the tournament here so far. 0-1 lined out to the right, and it's 0-2 to the shortstop Josh Lane. Lane batting .500 coming into the tournament now, 6 for 11 after singling his first time up. He's got Whitman at second, Jamar Weaver, the second baseman, shadowing over. Now he'll go back to his defensive position. 0-2 pitch, right back up the middle. Weaver will backhand field, then he fumbles with it, and then he drops it back down to the turf. And the first 2 men for Taylor have reached base safely for the 2nd time here today. as Weaver had to go to his right, try to make a backhand stop. Then as he tried to transition the ball from his glove, it fell out and back down to the artificial surface, covering the base paths. So a golden opportunity here for Taylor to break our scoreless deadlock. And a perfect candidate right here in last year's All-American Nathan Taggart. Whitman at third, Lane at first. West out of the stretch. First one to Taggart. Will pop the glove. Fastball belt high for a strike. Taggart popped out in foul territory to the first baseman, Zinski. They check on Lane at first. Remember, Zimski was able to pick a low throw from the starting pitcher, DJ Moore, on Saturday. That put Lane right over at third base to get the Trojans their first run back on Saturday. Second one in there to the strike zone again, just on the outside corner. And the count quickly 0-2 to one of the best bats in the NAIA, Nathan Taggart. Comes in batting .404. 82 hits after having 94 a year ago. The third one. Outside corner, a check swing from Taggart, and it's 1-2 now. So they'll score that an error on the Lane hit to Weaver at second. He stands at first. Whitman over at third. No score, top of the third inning. Fourth one to Taggart comes inside. The bottom drops out and Taggart misses. Second K of the afternoon for West. And just like what happened to Taylor in the first, with Whitman and Lane reaching base safely, then Taggart retired for the first out. That'll bring up the senior Tanner Watson, who Friday night had to have his left batting glove sewn back up by longtime friend and the wife of Taylor women's basketball coach Jody Martinez. The Watsons and the Martinezes have been friends for many, many years, dating back to the Martinez's time back as when they were members of the Bethel basketball family. Tanner from Granger, Indiana, up there north. So Mrs. Martinez sewed up the batting glove for Tanner Watson, and he gets the game-winning hit on Saturday. They check back on Lane at first. He steps back with no tag applied from Zimski. A ball to Watson here at the plate. Flew out to Perez and right his first time up. He's got Whitman at third, no score, one out, top of the third inning. Second pitch as Lane goes down to second, hit and run was on, and Watson will pull it foul just to the left of third. Taylor had just 5 hits last night. Really struggled at the plate against starter Zach St. Pierre for Marion as he threw a career high 9 pitches. And a rare second rock toss there from Watson as he steps back in here. Normally to see the rock toss before he steps in before the first pitch. We get a second rock toss here. He fouls off the third one to make it 1-2. Taylor had first and second a couple of times with one out against Huntington on Saturday. Hit into double plays or just couldn't bring anybody in. They've got first and third here with only one out for Tanner Watson. Curveball will loop in high, and the count now even at 2-2. Tanner, third best batting average for the Trojans to start today at .350. Second most hits with 71, with Whitman tying him with that double to start this inning off. 2-2. Away again, and now the count full. Second base open with Whitman standing at third and Lane at first after the fielding error. Each team with an error here so far today. Taylor with the only 2 hits. No runs to show for it. Watson trying to change that here. The 3-2 from West. He'll pop this one up over our heads as Lane was darting down to second. Tanner, a 3-time All-Crossroads League selection, former newcomer of the year as a DH his freshman season. Won the Gold Glove back in 2016 for his play in right field, with Player of the Year Lincoln Reed manning the duties behind the plate. Another 3-2 from the lefty West. This one still foul to the right. You can hear Taylor head coach Kyle Gould encouraging Watson at the plate as he coaches down there at third. Grant County Hall of Famer Rick Atkinson over at first. And back over Coach A's way. Lane will step back on. Quick throw over there from the lefty West. So it's Whitman at third after the leadoff double. The fielding error from Lane back over again as Lane increasing his lead. A fake throw from Zimski. And then floats it over. 3-2 to Watson. He's 0 for 1 today. but a prime opportunity with men at first and third to drive in the first run of the day. This one popped up, and right field side out of play. Sam Weiss, the center fielder, waits on deck. Whitman a leadoff double to the left center field gap. Stands at third. Lane with good speed over there at first. Pitch number 9, and it'll be a walk. So the base is full here for the center fielder, Sam Weiss, and one out in the top of the third with no score between Taylor and Huntington. Fourth walk allowed by West here today. And so Watson will exit. Kelsheimer will pinch run for him. And we'll see Weiss for the second time today.
Center fielder Sam Weiss.
Bases full for the Trojans. They loaded him up with 2 outs in the first. Couldn't bring anybody home. They've got him loaded with 1 out here in the third. And still no score. First one to Weiss. Snagged by the second baseman Weaver. And everybody's got to go back to their bases. That's the... We can't even count how many times the Trojans have hit the ball right to an infielder here in this last now 3 games of the tournament. So now the base is still juiced. As that one just narrowly snagged by Weaver as he moved to his left. 2 outs for Jared Atkins.
Now batting the DH, Jared Atkins.
Jared 0 for 1 today. We're hitting to that fielder's choice to end things in the first. He bats again here with the bases full as he hit that one right to Rozier at short. Inside here, that one well struck but pulled foul to the left. Jared, last year's Crossroads League Player of the Year. Batting .250 here in the Crossroads League tournament to start, going 4 for 12. A pair of home runs and 5 runs batted in. But the 2 home runs coming in that 7 home run outburst against Mount Vernon Nazarene on Friday. Whitman, Lane, Kelsheimer, third to first. And this one hopping to the left side, and it will bounce foul. 0-2 to Jared Atkins. First 2 men reach base safely. A strikeout to Taggart, a walk to Watson, loaded him up. A 1-pitch line out to Weaver at second from Weiss, and the Trojans, with Atkins down 0-2 here, in danger of leaving them full for the second time here in the first 3 innings. Jared, the senior, out of Whiteland, Indiana. West, the 0-2 out of the stretch, and he puts a foul ball that was dropped by the catcher Loskamp. Now our home plate umpire Jerry Smith will walk out and talk things over with West between the mound and home plate. We'll just flip him the ball. So no chat needed. Whitman at third after the double. Lane at second. After the fielding error from Weaver and Kelsheimer pinch running for Watson, he stands at first. No balls, 2 strikes after Atkins fouled off the third pitch. West taking his time. Here comes another 0-2. Outside corner freezes Atkins, and West gets out of the bases loaded jam with only 1 out here in the inning. We've played 2.5. The Trojans have stranded 6 runners today, 3 in the first and now 3 here in the third, and we're scoreless between Taylor and Huntington. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Adrian Perez, Kyle Selvey, then back to the top of the order we go, and Donovan Clark here for Huntington in the home half of the third inning with no score. Perez shows a bunt. This one will go off the mask of Tanner Watson behind the plate for a called strike. Perez, 3 hits yesterday, going 3 for 8. Also struck out 4 times in the 2 games for Huntington. But he's remembered by Taylor fans for coming in with the high slide to Taggart over at first that brought both teams out of their dugout with some not so pleasant words exchanged between both sides. Cooler heads prevailed with no action coming. Patton's breaking ball upstairs, and it makes it 1-1. Perez batting .294 here in the tournament. He is 0 for 14 against Taylor pitching here this season, and he fouls off a 1-1 to make it 1-2. Perez against Taylor pitchers this year in 4 games, 0 for 14, a run scored, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. He struck out 4 times in the 2 games yesterday, and now he strikes out here on the first one here as Watson picks it up and reaches out and tags out Perez. 1 gone here in the third for Huntington.
Now batting third baseman Kyle Selvey.
That'll bring up the third baseman Kyle Selvey, 5'11" senior out of Red Key. Selvey squares a show bunt, takes it for a strike. Selvey's brother will actually be in Taylor pitching coaches Devin Wilburn's wedding coming up this summer. Selvey yesterday 1 for 7 in the 2 games for Huntington. And now he's down 0-2. He's just 2 for 14 here in the tournament. And he's batted 3 for 13 against Taylor pitching with 5 strikeouts in the 4 games he's played against TU. He'll swing and miss at 1 low. Watson picks his up, steps over the discarded bat, down to Kennedy at first. That's back-to-back strikeouts here for Kennedy here in this third inning. Gives him 96 on the year, and there are 2 outs for Huntington here in the third.
Now batting center fielder Donovan Clark.
So second times through the order, starting for Patton here with the center fielder Donovan Clark. One of the best base stealers here in the Crossroads League. He'll try to get on for the first time today. Slider from Patton will put him down to strike to start. Clark with 31 stolen bases on the year. He has been thrown out once by Tanner Watson. That came on Saturday. He'll check swing 1, low, miss, 0-2. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Patton looking for the 1-2-3 inning. And that one will bounce away, making it 1-2. He retired the side in order in the first inning. Had the first 2 outs in the second before he threw a ball away. And the 1-2 to Clark. Hard hit right side, right at Lawson. Fields to first. And there's the second 1-2-3 inning here for Patton. Through the first 3 innings, Mount Huntington's only been able to put 1 man on. The Trojans have stranded 6. We'll see if the offense can come around here in the 4th. They'll bring up Kennedy, Lawson, and McGill, the right fielder. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student athletes.
Now batting first baseman Andrew Kennedy.
We start things here in the top of the fourth. Taylor and Huntington scoreless. The first baseman, Andrew Kennedy, will bat here. And that one will pop out of the glove of Loskamp, the catcher, for a ball. Kennedy walked to lead things off in the second. Then a 6-4-3 double play got turned for the man on deck, Brett Lawson. West has already walked 4 men today, and he first 2 for the lefty have missed the zone. It's 2-0 to Kennedy. Third one, right at the knees, down the middle for strike 1. Taylor with purple jerseys, gray pants. Huntington green uniforms, white pants with the white caps and the green bills. And West comes inside as Kennedy crowds the inside half, and the count squares up 2-2. First 2 from West away, they were balls. The second 2 have come inside. They both have been strikes. The fifth one outside, and Kennedy will protect, fouling it off the end of the bat. Kennedy batting .331 this season with 45 hits, 11 doubles and 5 home runs. And the lefty West will bounce one in for ball 3. Count full to the leadoff man here at the top of the fourth for TU. And there'll be another walk. Second time Kennedy's walked today, the 5th one that West has allowed. Here's Taylor bats in the top of the fourth.
Now batting second baseman, Brett Lawson.
Taylor loaded him up in the first. They loaded him up with 1 out in the third. Couldn't do anything with it. Lawson squares to bunt. This one right back up the middle. West will field. He'll throw it over to first. Almost pulled Zimski off the bag, and then he finally got his toe back on the base before Lawson could get there in time. 1 out for Taylor, but the sacrifice moves Kennedy into scoring position to second for Christian McGill. Small ball was something Taylor was unable to do last night, falling behind 4-0 about midway through that game with Marion. Had to keep swinging away. Able to play small ball here and move Kennedy over to second for the first out. A ball to McGill, who struck out swinging his only time up before this one, back in the second inning. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for Taylor. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for Huntington. And McGill will foul the second one he gets. Over our heads off the end of the bat, and the count squares at a ball and a strike. McGill, the sophomore out of Cicero. They say similar to senior Jared Atkins, can hit for power and also built for speed as well. And the third one low, bouncing in to make it 2-1. He's got the leadoff man, or the top of the order, Wyatt Whitman, waiting behind him. With Kennedy, the runner standing at second, in a scoreless top of the fourth. And then this one will be sent to deep center field. Clark back. Underneath to make the catch for out number 2, Kennedy. Will go back over to second on a good throw from Clark. So 2 outs here for the Trojans and Wyatt Whitman. Game still scoreless here in the fourth. Taylor stranded 8 runners last night. They've stranded 6 here so far today. Loading them up in the first and the third. And we'll see if Wyatt Whitman can reach base safely for the 3rd time today. First one inside half of the knees for a called strike from home plate umpire Jerry Smith. Wyatt walked and doubled to left center field in the first and third innings respectively. First time he's batted today and not been the one to lead off an inning. Second one, breaking ball, this time below the knees to even it up at 1-1. Wyatt 4 for 12 in the tournament coming into the day. Was white hot at the end of the regular season, batting .414 in his last 10 games with 6 doubles, 3 home runs, 4 runs batted in, 16 runs scored. And this one lifted over our heads and fouled to make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs for TU as they bat here in the top of the fourth. A scoreless contest between they and Huntington. The winner gets Marion tonight, the first of potentially 2 championship games. Whitman chokes up. 1-2 curveball way upstairs from West. And the count squares at 2-2. We look behind that center field fence. We see some of the folks They'll be playing for Marion tonight, walking back from the Student Center. Maybe got some little Chick-fil-A lunch before tonight's contest at 6. 2-2 to Whitman from West. Off the end of the bat, popped up right side of the park. Perez will jog. Now has to really kick it into gear. And he makes the catch just inside the right field foul line. So Taylor will strand Kennedy at second. They've stranded 7 men through their first 4 times at the plate. We still have no scores. We head to the bottom of the 4th. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
When it comes to watching sports, there's no telling what you'll hear.
No, 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 no.
But when a fan orders Pizza Hut for the game, they know exactly what they're getting.
Oh, nice.
Pizza, wings, as well as sides and desserts are all available at pizzahut.com or at their location in Gas City. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Two, 3, and 4 coming up here for Huntington. Scoreless game in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Weaver, Rozier, and Loskamp, the ones coming up for the Foresters. Weaver, 5'11" senior from Shipshewana, Indiana. And Patton getting ready to start his 4th inning of work for TU. Breaking ball to the outside corner, called for strike 1. 3 Ks today for Matt Patton, gives him 96 on the year, breaking the tie that he had with the former 3-time Crossroads League Pitcher of the Year, Josh DeGraff. Ground ball to Lawson at second, over to first, and there's 1 out here for Huntington. Patton threw just 39 pitches in his only appearance in the 2018 Crossroads League Tournament. So he got the start against Mount Vernon Nazarene on Friday. Didn't go the distance, so he was not eligible for the win on Friday. Squaring up to bunt, not pulling it back is Adam Rozier, and it's strike 1. It's the first time that Patton has faced Huntington this season. And the second one just missing the outside corner, leveling it up at 1-1. Third one from Patton. Into the air to right. McGill jogging in. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th for Huntington.
Now batting the catcher, Hunter Loskamp.
So 2 outs and no runners on for Huntington. Scoreless bottom of the 4th. And Loskamp steps up. He's 0 for 1 here on the afternoon. Loskamp with just 2 hits here in the Crossroads League Tournament. One last night in the win over Indiana Wesley, and the other one, as he swings and misses at the first one, was that home run to get Huntington on the board against Taylor on Saturday, about midway through that game. Popped out in foul ground, right side of the infield to Matt Patton. He swings and misses at another breaking ball, and now he's down 0-2. No score with Huntington batting here in the bottom of the 4th. Patton quickly deals home the 0-2. And Loskamp thought about swinging. He thought better. And the count of ball and 2 strikes. Loskamp started the day batting .233 with 8 doubles and 4 home runs. 0 for 1 today. And that one low, and the count squares at 2 apiece. And the 2-2 to Loskamp. And that one misses low and away the outside corner. Now 3-2. No score, bottom of the fourth. 2 outs, nobody on. Payoff pitch from Patton. And Loskamp down on strikes as Watson will reach up and tag him out. Fourth K here for Matt Patton. Just one man has reached base safely today for Huntington through our first 4 innings. We head to the top of the fifth with no score. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. We've played 4 innings here from Winter Holder Field. The Trojans have stranded 7 runners, including 2 innings where they had the bases full. We have no score between TU and Huntington. And Josh Lane will try to get things rolling here for the Trojans. He, like the leadoff man Wyatt Whitman, reached base safe with their first 2 times up. Lane with one of the only 2 hits for Taylor today is West's curveball outside the zone up top. He singled to left his first time up, then reached on the air his last time at the plate in the 3rd. Fouling the second one back. That was the 81st pitch thrown by the lefty Connor West. Didn't throw a lot of pitches on Friday, much unlike some of his teammates. Fly ball to right. Perez is there for the first out. Taylor could really use the guy at the plate here to get rolling here today. No score, 1 out, top of the 5th. And a fastball from West up high for a ball. It's Nathan Taggart, third baseman today. And he's 0 for 2 today with a fly out and foul ground and a strikeout. Now he goes ahead 2-0. Nathan has struggled against Huntington pitching this year, going just 3 for 16 coming into the day, but did have 3 runs batted in. And now he goes ahead 3-0 as West has missed the zone on all 3 pitches. Tanner Watson, the catcher, waits on deck. No score here for TU and Huntington in the top of the 5th. The winner gets Marion tonight at 6. 4th one, and that's a 4-pitch walk to Nathan Taggart, the 6th one that West has had today. And the walk brings Alex McCutcheon up off the bench into the bullpen for Huntington to start stretching out. McCutcheon, another lefty, a 5'10 sophomore, like West from Huntington, Indiana, and Huntington North High School. So he starts warming up down to our right. First one to Watson. Tanner lays off, and it's a fastball and ball 1 upstairs. Tanner 0 for 1 today with a walk. Has liked seeing Huntington pitching this season. One of only 2 Trojans batting over 400 against the Foresters this season. Comes in at 467, and as we mentioned, had the go-ahead hit in the top of the 12th to put Taylor up 4-2. They would eventually win by that margin in the bottom of the 12th. Tanner 7 for 15 against Huntington hurlers this year. 4 runs batted in, 2 runs scored, and 4 walks in the 4 previous games. He's 0 for 1 today, lining out to Perez and right back in the 1st. And West will come inside on the 3rd one and get a strike. He walked in the 3rd. what was the 9th pitch of his at-bat. 1 out, Taggart at first after a 4-pitch walk. No score, top of the 5th. And Watson will send this one towards the right center field area. Donovan Clark, a great jump, shields the sun with his glove. And he makes the catch for out number 2, and Taggart will go back to first. That was the 90th pitch thrown by West. And now Sam Weiss will step in, trying to keep the top of the 5th rolling for Taylor.
Batting center fielder Sam Weiss.
Just 2 hits on the afternoon for TU, but 6 walks and an error for Huntington. And West will come inside to the crowding Weiss, and it's a called strike. Sam walked in the 1st, then softly lined out to Weaver in the 3rd with the bases full for the 2nd out. Squares to bunt here, pops it up, and unable to get to the ball in time as Loskamp had the helmet off, but couldn't get there in time to make the catch. Strike 2 to Weiss. Sam 0 for 3 last night with 2 strikeouts and a walk in the loss to Marion. Came in 3 for 14 in the tournament, 5 for 17 against Huntington pitching this season. 3rd one from West. Outside corner freezes Sam Weiss, 3rd K of the day here for Connor West. And the Trojans have stranded their 8th runner today. And we head to the bottom of the 5th, still scoreless between Taylor and Huntington. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The left fielder, Nick Davitt.
Bottom of the 5th, Davitt, Lichty, and Simsky coming up for Huntington in a scoreless contest between they and Taylor. 53rd pitch thrown by Matt Patton, off speed low, and it's ball 1. Davitt 0 for 1 today, a ground out to lane at short, his only time up so far today. 2nd one from Patton, he comes inside this time, and it's called for a strike. Davitt batting .298 on the year. 3rd one, this time down the middle, and it makes it 1-2. So Davitt, Lichty, and Zimski. Only one man has reached base safely today for Huntington as they bat here in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-2 from Patton. And that's one's fouled down by Davitt. 5 Ks today for Matt as he starts the day. Gives him 98 on the year, the most by in a single season for a Taylor pitcher in program history. Broke the tie with Josh DeGraff, striking out Weaver in the bottom of the 1st. Another 1-2 from Patton. This one sent into the air, high, and Weiss will be there in right center field. Blocks the sun with his right hand, makes the catch with his gloved left hand, and there's 1 out here in the 5th for Huntington. I'll bring up the only man to reach base safely today, the DH Daniel Lichty. Lichty reached with 2 outs on the throwing error from Patton over to first. And the first one from Matt here is low for a ball. First time Lichty has faced Taylor pitching this year, and it's also the first time, as you mentioned, that Matt Patton has thrown against Huntington this year. And Lichty will miss the second one to even it up at a ball and a strike. Lichty, the freshman from Canada. London, Ontario, the hometown. Third one from Patton. Off the end of the bat to deep left field. Whitman going back, still ranging back. He's not going to get to it. It's going to bounce to the fence. Lichty, first hit of the day for Huntington. It's a one-out double for the Forsters. They came in the second most doubles here in the Crossroads League tournament. That's their 7th, and their first hit of the day will go through that wind blowing in from right and blows it over Whitman's head. And it's a runner in scoring position here for Daniel Lichty. His 35th hit of the year and the first one here at the Crossroads League tournament.
Now batting first baseman Tyler Zimski.
So a runner in scoring position, no score here in the bottom of the 5th for Huntington, as they try to defeat Taylor for the second time this season, taking one in the regular season of the 3-game set and then losing to Taylor on Saturday here in the tournament. And for the first time today, that will ignite some cheering from the Huntington dugout situated to our right. A ball to Zimski. He's 0 for 1 today, as we mentioned, popping out to Lane to end things in the second. Lichty a safe lead at second base. And Patton's slider will find the outside corner and make it 1-1. Zimski, a 6'2 senior out of Fort Wayne. 4 for 15 entering the day here in the Crossroads League tournament. And even 200 against Taylor pitching before today's action. Pops it up, but foul to our right. One out. Runner in scoring position. First time today they've been able to get a man on second. Also their first hit of the day. Zimski awaits the 1-2. Here it comes from Patton. And that one just a little bit high down the middle of the plate, makes it 2-2. As that draws some oohs and ahs from the Taylor fans down below. The 2-2. Foul again, this one off to our right. Zimski batting just .199 entering today's action. 28 hits and 141 at-bats. Does have 7 extra base hits, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and 1 home run. Here's pitch number 6 from Patton. Blows it right by him on a fastball, spun Zimski around. His 6th K of the afternoon for Patton. After a 1-out double, gets Zimski down on strikes. That'll bring up the right fielder Adrian Perez with 2 outs here in the 5th.
Now batting right fielder Adrian Perez.
Perez with his white pants hiked up to his knees, showing off the green socks today. Patton doing the same, his gray pants to the knees, showing off the purple socks. Spins that ball in his right hand, puts it into the mitt, waist high. And the first one to Perez, a breaking ball inside half for the called strike. Perez down on strikes. His first time up for the first out there in the 3rd inning. Scoreless bottom of the 5th. Lichty with a 1-out double. He stands at second. 2 outs right now for Huntington. Second one from Patton. Soft grounder left side. Lane fields over to first, and the double does no damage. So only 2 men have reached base safely for Huntington. Taylor needs the bats to wake up here in the worst way possible. Scoreless through 5, a hit and an error. The only 2 men have reached for Huntington. The Trojans have stranded 8 their first 5 times at the plate. They'll bring up Atkins, Kennedy, and Lawson when we come back from this commercial break. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. Founded in 1950, Central Indiana Orthopedics began its tradition of offering compassionate expert treatment for patients with bone, joint, and muscle injuries and conditions. CIO doctors and staff continue that tradition today and provide specialized care in the following areas: ankle, back, elbow, foot, hand, hip, joint replacement and revision, knee, neck, physical medicine and rehabilitation, shoulder, spine, sports medicine, and wrist. CIO has locations in Anderson, Elwood, Fishers, Marion, Muncie, and Portland. The Anderson, Muncie, and Fishers offices also have walk-in clinics for acute injuries less than 2 weeks old, which do not require a referral or appointment. The doctors and specialized staff of CIO proudly serve as the official team doctors for Taylor University, as well as several area high schools and universities. To make an appointment or find out other information about Central Indiana Orthopedics, they can be reached at 800-622-6575 or at ciocenter.com. Jared Atkins, Andrew Kennedy, and Brett Lawson coming up for Taylor here in this top half of the sixth. They've loaded the bases up twice. They've stranded 8 runners in total. They have 2 hits, and West has walked 6. There's also an error thrown in there as well by Huntington, but still no runs up on the board here for either side. As Atkins will bat for the 3rd time here today. Squares up for a bunt, pulls the bat back. On ball 1. We did see McCutcheon warming up for Huntington during the last inning, and now West, the lefty, will miss away to make it 2-0. It looks like McCutcheon talking with Brian Abbott, the Huntington pitching coach, in his 13th season with the Foresters. And the 3rd one, Atkins squares the bunt, doesn't pull it back in time. The inside half pitch makes it 2-1. And McCutcheon will go back to his stretching down there in the bullpen. 4th one to Atkins, and it makes it 3-1. West in danger of walking his 7th batter today. The good news, though, for him, Taylor's been unable to do anything with the 6 previous free passes. And there's number 7. Yesterday, Taylor only wrapped out 5 hits, no runs. And a pinch hitter coming in for T, replacing Andrew Kennedy. It'll be the lefty Tanner Colby, who has been starting at second base for most of this season and this series. Replaced in the lineup today, has been struggling at the plate as of late here in the tournament, but he'll get a chance to pinch hit here for Andrew Kennedy. And you might expect him to bunt here. Pretty good bunter with the speedy Atkins over there at first. Lefty on lefty here. Colby does square. Right up the first base side. He goes charging. West will field, spin, and toss it to Zimsky at first. Another sacrifice bunt. Moves the athletic Atkins over to second base for Brett Lawson, a hard swinging righty. So 1-3 on the sacrifice. The next pitch will be the 100th for Connor West. So it'll be the 3rd or 4th pitcher for Huntington here in the tournament to throw over 100 pitches. DJ Moore did that against Taylor on Saturday. Mason Shinneberry, who was unbelievable last night. Now Lawson will send one to left, but right again to a fielder. This time it's David in left. And there are 2 outs for the Trojans as McGill will try to do something here with Atkins now standing at second base. Second time today that Lawson has hit a ball right to a defender. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play on a well-struck ball in the second. And then hits one deep to left field, but right to where Nick David is standing. So it comes down to Christian McGill here on the top of the 6th. After a leadoff walk to Atkins, he now stands at second. He'll swing and miss at one on the outside corner for a strike. Leadoff walk for Atkins, the 5th time today. And the 6 times at the plate, the Trojans have put the leadoff man on. Scoreless game. Atkins stands at second. A strike to McGill. Inside, keeping in front of him is the catcher Loskamp. And the count squares up at a ball and a strike. McCutcheon's warm-ups have slowed down in the Huntington pen. 3rd one to McGill. Will swing and miss off the back foot. And now it's 1-2 in the favor of the pitcher Connor West. Taylor stranded 8 runners today, and West a strike away from making that number 9 here at the top of the 6th with 2 gone and no score. West out of the stretch. Fires home the 1-2. And McGill stays alive, fouling this one back. The Taylor offense, 2nd best batting average here in the tournament. 1st in slugging, 3rd in runs scored, 3rd in hits. They have 8 home runs coming in, belting 7 in that game on Friday. The rest of the tournament combined has just 7. McGill, little dribbler right side, snagged by the second baseman Weaver over to first. He got there just a step before it rolled into the outfield. So West again keeps Taylor off the board after allowing the leadoff runner on. He's walked 7 men today, but no one has come across here for those wearing purple. We head to the bottom of the 6th with no score between Taylor and Huntington. This is Taylor Baseball and the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Some defensive changes for Taylor here in the bottom of the sixth as Kyle Selvey, the third baseman, will lead it off for Huntington. He'll miss on a fastball inside. Tanner Colby stays in. He plays at second. That bumps Lawson, the starting second baseman, over to third, and Taggart will move from third over to first. That's the normal starting infield we've seen from TU here this season. They appeal down to the first base umpire, Trent Manning, and it's now 0-2 to Kyle Selvey. Jerry Smith, our home plate umpire, Trent Manning at first, and Don Porter is at third. 6 strikeouts today for Patton, the 0-2. Let's make it 7. It's 3 swings by Selvey, and he's down on all of them. And there's 1 out here to start off the 6th. So just a hit and an error today put the only 2 men on for Huntington. And Taylor has stranded 9 batters through their first 6 times up, and that is how our game has been scoreless. Offense extremely quiet for Taylor. Patton's been dominant here on the hill. The error and a double, that's it today. A bunt, right back up. Watson will barehand it, throws on the run, and Taggart will get it at first. Nicely done by Watson behind the plate as Donovan Clark, the speedster, tried to bunt his way on. There are 2 outs for the Foresters here in the bottom of the 6th. So that puts Clark at 0 for 3 today. Now Jamar Weaver, the second baseman, will try to prevent from going 0 for 3 as well. Only 1 man has reached base safely today for Huntington. That's their DH, Daniel Lichty. He's played in the last 2 games for the Foresters. And he bats out of the 6th spot today. He doubled an inning ago in the 5th. He reached on an error in the 1st, and that's been it today. First 2 to Jamar Weaver, the second baseman, low and away from the righty, and it's 2-0. Weaver struck out in the 1st, grounded out to the then second baseman Lawson in the 4th. We're sitting here in the bottom of the 6th with no score. And now Patton will miss up high, 3-0. Just the second time all day he's thrown 3 balls to a single batter. That was to Hunter Loskamp, the catcher. He later struck him out in the 4th. It's 3-0 here to Weaver. And that one will miss. It's a 4-pitch walk. First free pass allowed by Patton today. He's a little frustrated out there on the mound. Just the 3rd base runner here all afternoon for Huntington.
Now batting shortstop, Adam Roser.
So it'll be the shortstop, Adam Roser, trying to keep this bottom of the 6th going and get Huntington on the board and break our scoreless tie. The winner in this game gets Marion tonight at 6. The winner of this game, if they defeat Marion, we're back here again to do it all one more time tomorrow at 3. That's 5 straight pitches out of the zone from Patton. And that brings some chirping coming from the Huntington dugout situated to our right. Rozier 0 for 2. A ground out to Taggart and flew out to McGill and right. Dancing at first is Weaver. And Patton will throw it in there for strike 2 to Rozier. Weaver, a decent base stealer. 13 for 18. They check on him at first. Taggart a tag, and Weaver dives back head first. A ball and a strike to Rozier, the shortstop. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th and no score between Huntington and Taylor. Patton, third base side of the rubber, deals out of the stretch. Pickoff attempt to first, and Taggart will tag Rozier, but he's back in time. Wind blowing in from right field as it rustles the purple uniform of Matt Patton on the hill. Spins that ball in his right fingertips. Comes set at the waist. 1-1 home. Hard hit right side. That one will bounce in. Second hit of the day here for Huntington. They'll wave Weaver around. Coming in at third, a bullet thrown from McGill, cut off by the shortstop Lane. And a 2-out single through the right side from the lefty Rozier. Has put men at first and third today for Huntington. First time they've gotten a man on third base today. They try to take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. And Taylor head coach Kyle Gould will walk out of the dugout to talk things over with the infield. We look down and we see Cole Barkus, the right-handed freshman, starting to warm up here for TU. So Patton's been spectacular coming into the day, but then back-to-back, a walk to Weaver on 4 pitches and then the single from Rozier. We'll draw the head coach Kyle Gould in here to talk things over with the entire infield. As you mentioned earlier in our broadcast, a lot of teams around the NAIA cheering for Taylor right now since they've already secured one of the 2 automatic bids, or excuse me, they've already attained one of those automatic bids because, you know, I can speak properly. We've reserved one of those automatic bids because they're hosting one of the 9 opening round sites next week. So a couple of these teams, particularly ones, like we mentioned, there's about 7 teams in the top 15 that have been eliminated from their league tournaments, including pretty much everybody in the top 5 except for maybe 1 team and maybe only 2 teams in the top 10 that are still playing in their league tournaments. So these at-large bids are getting as gobbled up like M&Ms on Halloween. So this team's sitting on the bubble as Loskamp will swing and miss at a breaking ball. They are pulling hard for Taylor here today. Huntington trying to play spoiler. If they would come in and play Marion tonight, the winner of that game, and then potentially tomorrow, they're going to nationals because Indiana Wesleyan, the top seed, was eliminated last night by this Huntington ball club. Loskamp will hit one deep to left field. He has 1 home run against Taylor here in the tournament. Whitman looks up, and that one will clear the left field fence. And Huntington takes their first lead of the day on Loskamp's 2nd home run of the Crossroads League tournament. It's 3-0 Huntington here in the bottom of the 6th. They only had 2 base runners coming on here before this inning. They put 3 on with 2 outs, and Loskamp has just driven all 3 of them in. And the Taylor offense, which has been stagnant all day, have had opportunities to build a lead here. Loskamp with 1 swing has put them up 3-0. And Taylor head coach Kyle Gould is going to come out. Tanner Watson will step in and had a quick conversation with the boss. And so looks like Patton will stay in here as now he'll face Nick Davitt. Just the 2nd hit extra base hit all day, the 3rd one. And the runner's going to be out. Watson looks back here, told Coach Kyle Gould something, and they throw it home. And so the batter is out at the plate. And so the 3rd base coach for Huntington comes in. So no runs on the board. There are no runs on the board. We are scoreless. Tanner Watson coming up huge for the Trojans. Head coach Mike Frame out here. He is arguing vehemently with Jerry Smith. And we will come back and recap this one. So no runs on the board. We are scoreless as we head to the top of the 7th. We'll explain this after the commercial break. So we head to the top of the 7th with Wyatt Whitman batting, Lane and Taggart. It was the man on third. Jamar Weaver did not touch home plate. Watson saw it. They threw it home. He stepped on home plate, and that took all 3 runs off the board, and we are still scoreless here as Whitman leads off the top of the 7th inning. It's a ball from the lefty Connor West. Now to the outside corner, evens it up at 1-1. So all the celebrating there for Huntington out of the dugout, all for naught because Weaver didn't step on home. And now Whitman will golf this one up, foul. Hustling after it is the first baseman Zimski. And the count 1-2. So Whitman 1 for 2 today. Doubling in the 3rd. Walked in the 1st and then flew out to right in the 4th. 4th one from West. A curveball left way up high makes it 2-2. Ground ball right back to West. It goes off of his glove, and it will not be able to be fielded in time. Rozier tried to come in. It got caught on the heel of the glove of West. He threw it softly into the air, and that allows Whitman to scamper down to first on a leadoff single here in the top of the 7th with our game still scoreless. 3rd hit of the day for TU, the 2nd one for Wyatt Whitman. And the warm-up toss is continuing to be thrown here from McCutcheon down in the pen. Josh Lane will step in. He's been great here in the tournament. First one from West. He squares up a bunt. Third base side. Selvey coming in. Won't get the out at second. Throws to first. And another sacrifice bunt here for Taylor. There's another runner in scoring position, but they have been unsuccessful in bringing anybody in today. They've stranded 9 runners. And they had the same situation back in the 6th. A sac bunt by the second batter of the inning. Then the next 2 men retired in order. And we'll see if Taggart can change the Trojans' luck here in the top of the 7th.
Now batting first baseman Nathan Taggart.
Taggart 0 for 2 today, walking his last time up. Goes after the first one and sends it back to the netting. No score, top of the 7th. The winner gets Marion here tonight at 6 o'clock. If the winner of this game defeats Marion, we're back here again tomorrow at 3. And Taggart will launch one, but a late swing will send it deeply foul to the right. And that hits off the back of someone's automobile. Whitman, a leadoff single up the middle, now stands at second after the sacrifice bunt. 0-2 to Taggart, right side. Weaver dives and stops it, gets back to his feet, throws to first. Second out here of the inning. It does move Whitman down to third for Tanner Watson. Tanner Watson came up clutch for Taylor. With the game tied at 2 and the bases full in the top of the 12th on Saturday against Huntington. And those pulling for Taylor and those teams hoping for an at-large bid, they're sitting on the bubble. Pulling for Tanner Watson right now, too. Shading over is the shortstop Rozier. First one from West, and then Watson will pop this one up to center field. Coming in is Clark, being called off all the way by that second baseman. He runs about 30 or 40 yards. Jamar Weaver makes the catch and redeems himself here. He was the one who didn't tough step on home plate. That nullified that 3-run homer in the 6th. It looks like a new pitcher coming in here for TU. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be the right-hander Cole Barkas. We're back with the bottom of the 7th as we stretched out right after this.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Bottom half of the 7th, no score here for Huntington. Nick Davitt, the left fielder, will lead it off. He was set to go after what he thought was a 3-run homer from Hunter Loskamp, but Jamar Weaver, who was standing at third, did not step on home plate. Tanner Watson watched it happen, and it looked like Taylor head coach Kyle Gould was ready to pull Matt Patton after the home run. Watson called him off, and now we'll see Cole Barkus in here for TU. Ground ball right side, just past the diving Taggart up the right field line on a 1-1. So Davitt will round first. Running over, it's McGill, throws in a bullet. One hopper into Lane. And a good thing Davitt was standing on first as he was celebrating back to his own dugout with the ball coming in. You even see that thing coming on a one-hop laser from McGill. So a double there for Davitt.
Now batting the DH, Daniel Lichty.
And the 4th hit of the day here for Huntington. So a runner in scoring position for the DH, Daniel Lichty. And before all that craziness happened there in the 6th, he was the only man to reach base safely for Huntington coming into that inning. Reached on an error, then doubled to left back in the 5th. So it's Cole Barkus, the man on the mound here for TU. And a fastball to the outside half will miss as Lichty squares to bunt. Barkus 4.72 ERA, a 2-1 overall record, appearing in his 16th game here this season. Bunt again from Lichty, and this time it's in there for strike 2. Barkus appearing in his 3rd game against Huntington this season. Lichty squares to bunt. Barkus deals it home. Outside corner will miss 2-1 to the lefty Lichty. Cole, a 1-0 overall record against Huntington this year. 8 1/3 innings tossed, 6 hits, 1 run allowed. Strikeout 5 and has walked 2. Leadoff man on. Lane over there covering second. The 2-1 home. Lichty will punch this one foul, covered up by Watson, 2-2. So a leadoff double for Davitt as that one snuck inside the first base bag. And a second extra base hit here for Huntington after the home run was nullified by Loskamp in the 6th. It'll go down as a single. Then Weaver again, the one out at home because he didn't touch home plate. Pickoff attempt from Barkus, no one covering. And it'll send Davitt back to second. 2-2 the count to Lichty. Leadoff man on here, no score, bottom of the 7th. The winner of this game will get Huntington tonight, or Marion tonight at 6. Barkus, the righty out of the stretch, comes inside of the hands. And the count now full to Lichty, 3-2. He's got that protective mask in front of his matte black batting helmet. Jake Hansen steps out from behind the Huntington dugout. He might come into pinch hit as he starts getting loose. Payoff pitch from Barkus. Inside corner, ball 4, and the first 2 men have reached here for Huntington. And Taylor head coach Kyle Gould will call time. We look down, we see Rob Fox warming up for Taylor in the bullpen. That'll bring the Taylor infield in. The Trojans' offense has been humming at points today, but have been unable to bring anybody home. They've stranded 10 runners today in their first 7 times at the plate. It's been Huntington that's gotten the timely hits. Even if you take out that potential, that was what was a 3-run homer for Loskamp back in the 6th. We're at the bottom of the 7th here. Taylor put Huntington into the loser's bracket after winning on Saturday. Huntington won 2 games yesterday, 10-3 over Mount Vernon Nazarene, 11-3 over Indiana Wesleyan, to get this rematch with Taylor here this afternoon. So Barkus will stay in. The third base coach for Huntington comes to talk things over with 34th year head coach Mike Frame. And their meeting breaks up just about the same time that Taylor's does on the mound. Scoreless here in the bottom of the 7th. First 2 men have reached. A double from Davitt and a walk to Lichty. Setting the stage here for the first baseman, Tyler Zimski. So 4 hits here today for Huntington. The first 2 men on here. Infield playing in at the corners. A bunt, and that's going to hit the batter, Zimski, when he was still inside the batter's box. So it's just a strike to the first baseman, Zimski. Zimski 0 for 2 today. Lawson and Taggart playing in on the corners. Nobody out, first and second, no score, bottom of the 7th. And again, Zimski shows bunt. And this pitch will miss the zone. They appeal down. And first base umpire Trent Manning says it's ball 1. Zimski a pop out to lane at short, struck out swinging in the 5th. Barkis' first inning of work, second pitcher used by Taylor today. A bunt right back up the middle. Barkis gets it, drops it, picks it back up over to first. Colby there. Another aggressive slide for Huntington. This time it's Colby. Has his legs taken out from underneath. He keeps his balance and is okay. Sacrifice moves runners to second and third. One gone here in the 7th for Huntington, for Adrian Perez. Now time is called, and they'll bring in the senior Rob Fox, known for quickly getting warmed up. He does that here, and Barkis' afternoon will come to a close after 3 batters here in the 7th. We'll introduce you to Rob Fox when we come back from this commercial break. Runners at second and third, 1 out for Huntington here in the bottom of the 7th. No score, as this is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
So Rob Fox put into another tough situation here, just like he was on Saturday against this same Huntington lineup. He came in the 8th. Excuse me, came in the 9th, through 4 complete innings, the longest outing of his career as a Trojan. And picked up his 2nd win of the year, and he comes in here in a tough spot. 1 out, no score, and runners at second and third. He came in with the score tied at 2 back on Saturday. So we'll see what the 6'1" senior right-hander can do here. The first man he'll face will be Adrian Perez. So Barkis came in, gave up a hit and a walk. Then the sacrifice from Zinski has moved those runners to second and third. Fox deals exclusively out of the stretch, and the right-hander pumps in the first one here as Perez's bat will nick the helmet of the catcher Tanner Watson. Strike 1 to Perez. Remember, he's the one that slid in highly to Nathan Taggart, who's still standing down there at first. Selvey waits on, actually the pinch hitter will not be Selvey, it'll be Hansen waiting on deck now as he's loose and ready to go. Second one, missing on the inside half, 1-1 to Perez. Perez 0 for 16 against Taylor pitching this year, 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. He's got David at third after his leadoff double, Lichty's at second after a walk, and then Perez will foul this one off to his own dugout to the right. One ball, 2 strikes for the senior right-hander Rob Fox, a COSIDA Academic All-District selection a year ago. He'll graduate in a couple weeks with a degree in finance. His only appearance against Huntington was on Saturday. 1-2, he gets Perez to pop it up, foul ground, Taggart hustling after it, but this one will carry out of play by a healthy margin. Four innings on Saturday for Rob. 1 hit, no runs, 5 strikeouts and 2 walks. He got out of that bases loaded jam in the 10th to keep the game tied at 2. He comes in here with 1 out, no score, and men standing at second and third. Taggart and Colby playing in on the right side of the infield. Same for Lane, a little bit at short. Another 1-2, bouncing in, covered up by Watson. Makes the count 2-2. An inning ago, Huntington thought they led 3-0 as Loskamp drilled one over the left field fence, but Weaver, the runner at third, did not step on home plate. Watson watched him not do that. They threw it home, and the 3 runs came off the board. Perez chokes up here, the 2-2. Ground ball left side. Lawson will have it go off of his glove, and everybody's safe. Sliding in safely from third will be Nick Davitt as he shakes his helmet off. He runs back and will wisely step on home emphatically with his right foot. So I'll go down as an error on Brett Lawson. And men safe at first and second. And Huntington in front now, 1-0. So Lichty stays at second. Double play still in an opportunity here for TU. And Jake Hansen will pinch hit here for Huntington's Kyle Selvey, who has had a rough time at the plate here in the tournament.
Pitch hitting for Huntington, Jacob Hansen.
Hansen was a combined 0 for 4 yesterday in the 2 games for Huntington. Is 3 for 12 against Taylor pitching this season. Fox comes inside with the first one, that one low for a ball. Hansen batting just 178 this year. 21 hits in his 118 at-bats. And the second one from Fox will miss, and that draws the ire of the Taylor fans down below us. 1 run home here for Huntington. They're up 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th with 1 gone, and runners standing at first and second base. And Fox comes inside corner at the letters, 2-1. Taylor already into the national tournament starting next Monday. Huntington needs to win the next 3 games to get back to the national tournament for the 2nd year in a row. Fourth one from Fox. Good cover by Colby. Just leaping back is Lichty as he read the pivot from Fox. So an error charged from Lawson there at third as he came charging it. It bounced off the glove. 2-1 home. Off speed in there for strike 2. As Hansen looks back to his dugout for reassurance. Hansen pitch hitting for Kyle Selvey, who is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Batting out of the number 9 spot here this afternoon. 2-2 to Hansen. And he's down on strikes just like Selvey was. So the first K for Fox as Hansen spikes the end of the bat into the artificial surface. 2 outs here in the 7th. Men still at first and second here for Huntington. For the ever-speedy Donovan Clark.
Now batting center fielder Donovan Clark.
And time is called for Taylor head coach Kyle Gould. And now Mitch Eubler ready to go. So they'll bring in the right-handed power-throwing Mitch Eubler with 2 outs and 1 on to face Donovan Clark. So not a long outing here for Fox after he went 4 against Huntington on Saturday. He'll exit here, and they'll bring in Mitch Hubler. We'll introduce you to Mitch when we come back from this commercial break.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Second pitcher used this inning for TU. Or the third one, excuse me, it'll be Mitch Hubler. Hubler, 6'1", sophomore right-hander out of Avon, Indiana. His second year here with the Trojans after transferring in the middle of the year a season ago. Hubler, second best ERA for the Trojans, a sub 1.88. His 19th appearance overall, a 4-0 overall record. 43 strikeouts, 18 walks. He's allowed just 4 runs all year, 3 of which have been earned. He'll face Donovan Clark, gets a 1-hopper to the right side. There's Colby, and Hubler comes in and does the job. 1 pitch and out number 3. But 1 run comes home for Huntington here in the bottom of the 7th. They lead 1-0. The Trojans need their bats to wake up. They need to wake up now. Weiss, Atkins, and Colby, coming up when we come back from this commercial break. It's 1-0 Huntington with the spot in tonight's championship game on the line. This is Taylor Baseball on the Crossroads League Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100 all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student athletes.
Taylor batting, trailing for the first time today. They're down 1-0 after the misplayed grounder by Lawson in the bottom of the 7th. Weiss leads off the top of the 8th. The lefty Connor West still on the mound here for Huntington. As now they have two men starting to warm up in the pen. Still McCutcheon, the lefty down there, who's been up there for the last few innings. And the second one misses away from West. Weiss walked his first time up. He's been retired the last 2 times. Taylor 3 hits. They've stranded 10 runners today, including 2 times the bases full. Third one to Weiss. That one at the knees on the outside corner, and it's 2-1. The next one from West will be his 119th pitch here this afternoon. Third or fourth Huntington pitcher to break the century mark and pitches thrown here in the tournament. And the second one will work its way in there, makes it 2-2. Shinneberry hit 132 last night, punches it just under 100 at 97. And now Weiss will pop this one up. Third base side, Selvey comes jogging in, re-entering and playing third base after being pinch hit for in the 7th. And there's one out for Taylor here in the top of the 8th, down 1-0. So West, the third pitcher for Huntington to go over 100 pitches. DJ Moore did it to Taylor on Saturday. We mentioned Shinneberry doing it last night against Indiana Wesleyan. And West is at 120 on the nose right now before he starts the at-bat with Atkins. 1-0 the Taylor deficit here in the 8th. And West will fire in a breaking ball for a called strike to Atkins. Jared 0 for 2 with a walk here tonight. To the outside corner again. West now ahead 0-2. Taylor no runs on 5 hits last night. All were singles. 3 hits today, no runs. Just 1 extra base hit, that double for Whitman back in the 3rd. The 1-2 to Atkins. He's down on strikes. 4th strikeout of the day for West to go with those 7 walks. There are 2 outs for Taylor here in the 8th. And Andrew Kennedy will re-enter and bat here for Colby. So we'll see what Taylor does defensively here in the bottom of the 8th, but they bring up one of the best batters here in the Crossroads League tournament. And West will miss away to the righty Kennedy for ball 1. Andrew 2 walks today, is only 2 times up. Second one. Chases it low and fouls it out to the right. Andrew came in top slugging percentage in the Crossroads League tournament at 1.167. Leader in total bases and leader in home runs. 14 total bases, 3 long balls coming in, including a solo home run against Huntington on Saturday. Third one misses to make it 2-1. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the 8th, Taylor down by a single run. The pitch from West. Kennedy lines it. Goes underneath the diving glove of Rozier, and finally the Trojans get a ball that's hit right towards somebody, and it bounces away from the defender. So the tying run now at first for Brett Lawson with 2 outs here in the 8th. Lawson drives off his hands in the artificial turf just outside the batter's box.
Third baseman, Brett Lawson.
Brett batting for the 4th time. He's 0 for 2. Tying run and Kennedy over there at first base. 1-0 the deficit, top of the 8th. And West will bounce one in for ball 1 to Lawson. The winner of this game gets Marion tonight at 6. With an opportunity with a win in that game to force a winner-take-all championship game tomorrow. Second one, that one snatched on the hop by Loskamp. Well done as he moved to his right and made a backhand snag. Kennedy stays over at first. It's 2-0 to Lawson. That was pitch 130 for West. Now that brings Loskamp out from behind the plate to talk things over with West. And that draws a round of applause from the Huntington fans to our right. I guess they like the hustle from Loskamp. He did jog out there pretty effortlessly wearing that catcher's gear. 4 hits aside today. But Huntington leads where it counts. They're up 1-0 here in the 8th. Lawson 1 for 4 today with the strikeout. Came into the day 4 for 10 in the tournament. Batting just 214 against Huntington pitchers here in the 3 regular season games and the 1 game in the tournament on Saturday. 2 outs with Kennedy standing at first after a single through the left side. Lawson ahead 2-0. This one in there up the left field line. Kennedy will round second. It's going to be overran by David and roll to the fence. Kennedy will be waved around from third. David's throw is going to be nowhere close. Kennedy comes in scoring up, and we're tied at 1 here in the top of the 8th as Lawson comes through big for the Trojans as Kennedy had to get on his horse, rounding his way from first. And that is going to be the end of the line for Connor West. After the Taylor fans were quiet for most of the day, they've been brought to life here as Lawson pulls one down the third base and left field side. It rolled into the left field corner, and then right as David tried to pick it up, he fumbled with it. It rolled to the fence, and then Kennedy turned on the afterburners and advances home. So it'll go down as a single to Lawson, and then an error to David and left as McCutcheon will come in to replace Connor West. Game restarts here. We're tied at 1, and the go-ahead run in scoring position with 2 outs here in the 8th.
When it comes to watching sports, there's no telling what you'll hear.
No.
But when a fan orders Pizza Hut for the game, they know exactly what they're getting.
Oh, nice.
Pizza, wings, as well as sides and desserts are all available at pizzahut.com or at their location in Gas City. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The new pitcher in
Right fielder, Christian McGill.
will be called before Alex McCutcheon can even throw in. Brett Lawson will be pinch ran for by Kyle Kelsheimer at second base. That's number 23, Kyle Kelsheimer. We've seen him once today running for Tanner Watson when he reached base safely. That was the courtesy runner for TU. And so Christian McGill steps in. He's 0 for 3 today, but the go-ahead run is Kyle Kelsheimer at second. And the game tied at 1 here in the 8th with 2 outs. New pitcher McCutcheon. Kelsheimer already down the third, dropping the ball is Loskamp. And I don't even think he would have gotten Kelsheimer anyway. Now time is called. It's a strike to McGill at the plate as Kelsheimer swipes third. First stolen base for the Trojans here today. McCutcheon, 5'10", sophomore left-hander, 175 pounds. He's out of Huntington, Indiana and Huntington North High School. Time is called as Taylor head coach Kyle Gould walks in from the third base coach's box, and he's looking into the Taylor dugout. And I think McGill will be pinch hit for here with a strike to his name. Nope. They're going to put the batter or the pinch hitter back inside the dugout. So it's no balls and no strikes. Must have called a balk there. That could be nothing if it's... He definitely called strike at home, but our home plate umpire, Jerry Smith, saying there's no count. So here's the first official pitch to McGill, and now it's ball 1. If you like weird things happening in baseball, this is the game for you, people. McCutcheon, a 2-3 overall record, a 3.82 ERA, his 17th appearance overall. Go-ahead run at third. Loskamp covers up what is now ball 2, but the third overall pitch of the at-bat. So Kelsheimer the go-ahead run at third, 2-0. McGill will pop it up. Right field, Perez going back, trying to fight the sun, and he makes the catch to end the inning. But a fielding error from David in the left field corner allows the tying run to come home, And we're even at 1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th between Taylor and Huntington. This is Taylor Baseball in the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network. First full inning of work here for Mitch Eubler. He'll face Jamar Weaver, Adam Rozier, and Hunter Loskamp. And if Huntington ends up losing this game, they're going to point to Jamar Weaver since his last time up was a big turning point here in this contest. Eubler's fastball to the outside half will miss for ball 1. Weaver was standing at third on what looked to be a 3-run homer for Hunter Loskamp in the 6th to put Huntington up 3-0. But he didn't touch home plate. Catcher Tanner Watson noticed it. All 3 runs came off the board. Now as we sit here starting off the bottom of the 8th, our game dead even at 1. As Huntington scored a run back in the 7th on a fielding error from Brett Lawson at third. Then ironically enough, it's Lawson's hit. Then a misplayed bouncing ball by Davitt, the left fielder, scored Kennedy from first. And now the game even at 1 apiece. There's some other stuff in there in the top of the 8th. A pitch was thrown. It didn't count. Just stay tuned. Plug everything in. We're going to have a fun end, trust me. A ball and 2 strikes to Weaver, the second baseman. 0 for 2 today with a walk his last time up, and then everything happened after that. Count even 2-2. He'll be followed by Rozier and Loskamp. Bottom of the 8th as Eubler, 4th pitcher used by Taylor, starts his first full inning on the mound, and then chasing one on the outside is Weaver, flailing at it for strike 3. 1 gone here in the 8th. First of 2 games today. The winner of this game gets Marion tonight. They're the only remaining undefeated team here in the Crossroads League tournament after knocking off Taylor last night in our final winner's bracket game of the tournament so far. And Eubler's fastball at the knees down the middle is low. Ball 1 to Rozier. If the winner of this game defeats Marion tonight, we're back here again tomorrow at 3 p.m. to decide who takes the tournament title. Swing and a miss. 1-1 to Rozier. A lot of teams on the bubble cheering for Taylor right now, so they've already secured an opening round bid by being one of the 9 host sites next week. If Huntington or Marion take that title, 3 teams from the Crossroads League will go, and one of those teams on the bubble will be out. 2-1 the count to Rozier. And a whole lot of at-large bids already being snatched up as well. 4th one, Rozier will pop it up towards left. Whitman is there. He'll wait for it to come down, and it does so in his glove for out number 2. We mentioned a lot of at-larges being taken off the board as Loskamp will walk through the purple TU block behind home plate on his way to the dish. We have 7 or 8 teams ranked in the top 10 that have been eliminated in their respective league tournaments, including 4 or even 5 of the top 5 in the country. The number 1 overall team in the country was eliminated in their league tournament. So teams that will be going no matter what, they're taking a lot of those bids away from teams sitting on the bubble. Loskamp will foul the first one up over our heads. And it's a strike to Loskamp. His last time at the plate gave Huntington a lot of hope, and then it was snatched from their hands by Tanner Watson. And someone thinks something is extremely funny down there. Loskamp, fly ball to the right center field gap. Weiss, a good jump. He calls off McGill, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Mitch Hubler. We've played 8 innings here from Winter Holder Field. The winner gets Marion tonight in the championship game of the Crossroads League Tournament, and Taylor and Huntington are tied at 1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Top of the 9th, game tied at 1 run apiece. This is going to be fun. Alex McCutcheon on the mound for his first full inning of work. He faces the top of the order. Wyatt Whitman goes after the first one. He's going to pop it up in foul territory. Zimski sprinting in, and he's underneath it for out number 1. Not the best way to start here for TU. 1 gone, top of the 9th. The game tied. If you watched our recap from Saturday's win over Huntington, you heard senior Rob Fox mention how the Trojans, the only thing they haven't done as a team, the senior class, they have not won a Crossroads League tournament title. They won the regular season title back in 2016, the last time they went to the national tournament. But remember, that was that tournament where Indiana Wesleyan got hot. It rained so hard, I think we saw Noah's Ark go behind the right field fence, and the game got called in a tie at midnight. That was back under the old system as the first one's a ball to lane inside. That was under the old pod system where there would be a Taylor pod and then like a Huntington or Indiana Wesleyan pod. The 2 winners would meet in a one-game championship, so it wasn't a real true double elimination tournament like we have here. That was the old style up until this season. It was still in place there 2 years ago. That game got called even with Indiana Wesleyan leading, but the monsoon rain came back in. They reverted back as Lane will rip one down the left field line and foul. The game, since it wasn't officially, that inning wasn't officially done, it reverted back to the last completed inning. The game was still tied at that point, and we ended in a tie, which our former analyst Lincoln Reed still is irked about today. He still cannot believe that his last league game ended in a tie. So the 2 teams were named co-tournament champions, even though the Trojans had not lost a game in the tournament, Indiana Wesleyan had. You got all that? Good. It's all in the past. It's never going to happen again, hopefully. An out here at the top of the 9th. Game tied at 1. The 1-2 to Lane. A 1-hopper right to the second baseman, Weaver. He drops it and gets it right back in time with enough time to spare to get Lane out at first. 2 outs for Nathan Taggart here in the top of the 9th inning. And before they pitch to Taggart, the All-American who can change this thing with one swing, knowing that as the pitching coach Brian Abbott in his 13th year at Huntington, he comes jogging out of the dugout to talk things over with McCutcheon and the catcher Loskamp. 2 outs, no runners on here in the top of the 9th. Huntington will bring up Davitt, Lichty, and Zimski, 5, 6, and 7 in their order. Huntington needs to win this game and then the next 2 against Marion to get back to the national tournament. The Trojans are one of the 9 host sites. They're automatically in. After winning 43 games, they come in today 43-13, the most wins in program history for a Trojan ball club. First one to Taggart, goes after it, and that one will be underneath and fouled. Taggart 0 for 3 today with a walk. He has struggled against Huntington this year, batting just 3 for 16 coming into the night's action. Second one from McCutcheon, bouncing that one in off the dirt to even it up at 1-1. If Taggart can reach base safely, the catcher Tanner Watson waits on deck, who had the heroics at the plate against Huntington on Saturday in the top of the 12th. 1-1, outside corner, right at the knees. Taggart takes it for strike 2. McCutcheon out of the stretch, the lefty on the third base side of the bump. The 1-2 home, and that one low. Taggart watches it calmly, makes it 2-2. 5 hits on the day for TU, each team with 2 errors, each team with 1 run. The 2-2, right in Taggart's wheelhouse, but he popped it up down the right field line. Perez hustling in, still on a dead run, and he makes the catch just inside foul territory, or fair territory. So Huntington needs just 1 run to move on to the Crossroads League title game later tonight. They'll bring up Davitt, Lichty, and Zimski as we head to the bottom of the 9th. This is the 2018 Crossroads League Baseball Tournament here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on scripture and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel, boy do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going.
Bottom of the 9th, it'll be Davitt, Lichty, and Zimski. Davitt, the reason that this game is tied right now. And the first one from Eubler will miss low for a ball. Second full inning of work for Eubler on the mound. It was Davitt who ran over the ball in the left field corner in the 8th. It bounced away from him as he misplayed it and allowed Kennedy to tie the game scoring from first. But he's also the reason the game was tied in the first place, because he scored the only run of the day for Huntington back in the 7th after doubling just inside the first base bag. So Kennedy shading a little bit that way by maybe a step. Third one, right to Kennedy, goes off of his shin bone and bounces too far away from Lawson. And the winning run now here at first as McGill comes sprinting in from right field. A one-hopper that bounced off the shins of Kennedy at first. And so Davitt on to lead off the bottom of the 9th, the game even at 1 run apiece. First base runner allowed today here by Eubler. And so the DH Daniel Lichty comes up. He's reached base safely all 3 times he's been up here today. And for the longest time was the only one to reach base safely. That was until the 6th inning happened. Squares to bunt, right up the third base side to Taggart. Throws it quickly over to second. There's Lane. They won't be able to turn 2. Lane thought about it. He made the smart play, didn't want to risk it, and put the winning run in scoring position. Good job by Taggart. That's 5-4 on the fielder's choice putout, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Or 5-6, excuse me. Has some sirens going off in the background. That's never good.
Now batting first baseman Tyler Zimski.
So the winning run still over there at first for Huntington, and Daniel Lichty with Zimski here at the plate. Taylor playing a double play depth. They have not turned one here so far today. And the first one from Eubler, it's a curveball and in for a strike. It's that fire engine going on the street behind the right field fence. Ground ball right side. That one's going to get through. Lichty will be waved around from second. McGill comes in. He'll throw a bullet. Bouncing in. Stopped by Taggart. It rolls softly away from him. And now standing at second base will be Tyler Zimski. One out in the winning run 90 feet away here for Taylor as Zimski sends one through the right side of the infield. So it's Lichty at third. He's the winning run. Zimski now stands at second. And it'll bring up Adrian Perez, who's 0 for 3 today, but reached on a fielding error his last time up. And that's what scored the run for Huntington back in the 7th. So a single through the right side for Zimski. He advanced on the throw from McGill, trying to throw Lichty out at third. Selvey stands on deck. Perez, though, has had his struggles, as we mentioned, against Taylor pitching. 0 for 17, including an 0 for 3 day today, but did reach on the throwing error, or the fielding error, excuse me, from Lawson back in the 7th to put Huntington on the board with 1 run. Second and third, the infield playing in for the Trojans. 1 out, bottom of the 9th. Perez, a mighty swing and a mighty miss. Hubler, the right-handed sophomore. Big spot here for TU, trying to keep their tournament championship hopes alive. A strike to Perez. That one up high, 1-1. A base to work with over there at first. With Selvey on deck, who's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Perez a strikeout and a ground out to his name as well. Infield plays in 1-1, and Perez chases one that spins him around 180 degrees. He's down 1-2. The winning run stands at third. Another man stands at second. 1-1 game, bottom of the 9th. Huntington's season in the balance. They need a win here to keep this thing alive. And now Hubler will step off. Perez, a 5'11 junior out of Puerto Rico. 1-2 from Hubler. Ground ball right side, and that one's going to do it for Huntington. Scoring from third will be Lichty, and Huntington will take on Marion tonight here for the Crossroads League Tournament Championship. The Trojans' season here in the Crossroads League Tournament will come to a close as they'll get ready for the opening round of the national tournament starting next Monday. We'll take a break and come back and wrap this one up on the Ivanhoe's post-game show, and then look forward to tonight's championship game between Marion and Huntington. Walk-off winner for Adrian Perez, the first hit he's had all year against Taylor pitching. Wins it here for Huntington here in the bottom of the 9th to send them to the championship game. We'll be back to wrap this one up after this commercial break. It's Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments, in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Back here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show now, joined by the head coach of the Trojans, Kyle Gould. And Kyle, let's go back to that 7th inning. How many times have you seen a guy not step on home plate? And how was that? I know there was an exchange with you and Tanner. What was said? And then I know it looked like you were getting ready to pull Matt. And then what does Tanner tell you there in the 7th? And 3 runs come right off the board, and it's a whole new game.
He just told me I was going to make a pitching change. He just said, "Coach, don't." He missed the plate, and I didn't see it. But in 4 years, Tanner's never told me that, so I just doesn't hurt to ask. And he said it's pretty clear. I would assume it would have to be to make that call, but kind of a weird play, and we just couldn't take advantage of it.
You left 11 runners stranded today. Your offense has been kind of mired in the mud here a little bit the last 3 games. How do you try to get that changed before the opening round next Monday?
Well, I wish I had an easy answer. I don't. We have a little time. We have 5 days. So my guess is we'll just take tomorrow off, and then we'll get back on Thursday. They've got to take finals this weekend. So I think it's a different thing for every guy. I don't think it's just, it's one thing for everybody. It's never that simple. It's never just one thing. And so I give their pitcher a lot of credit. Exactly what I said yesterday. He just was in and out of his zone. And for whatever reason, that's given us some fits. Guys, kind of in and out and throwing strikes, throwing balls, and we just just struggle with that a little bit. So we just have to get some guys going.
Matt Patton now has 100 strikeouts on the year. That breaks the all-time record for a single season set by Josh DeGraff, who was fairly decent in his 4 years here at Taylor. He had 93, I believe, back in 2015. Obviously, Matt doesn't get the win today. He still has 10 on the year, but what's it been like to watch him pitch here in his senior season and get 100 strikeouts? First time a guy's ever done that in Taylor history.
Well, Matt, yeah, I mean, he's just worked so hard. The last 2 years, he had so many injuries. Came on the end of his freshman year. He just came in with stuff from high school and got off to a bad start as a sophomore, finished well, got off to a bad start last year, and about halfway through was our best pitcher at the end, and he was really committed to getting off to a good start, and he did. And he's been really good the whole year. I thought he threw the ball great today. So we'll just get him bounced back and ready to pitch the national tournament. But it's a great honor for Matt. There's been some, going all the way back to Coach King's days and Coach Winterhorn's days, there's been some incredible pitchers here. Several guys who've pitched professionally. And for him to have the most, it's a tribute to one, he just being healthy the whole year and taking the ball a lot, throwing an inning, and just, he's got that great strikeout pitch. And so I'm really happy for Matt.
And the last thing, we didn't get a chance to touch on it yesterday, but Tanner won the Gates Howard Award yesterday, and that award's changed a little bit. It used to be just for the top senior male athlete for a single season, but now it's been switched to a career award that he got to share with Cassidy Wise. But a lot of Taylor baseball guys have won that Gates Howard Award. How special is that to have another baseball guy win that award yesterday in Tanner?
Well, and we had 2 things. We actually had Rob Fox won Accounting Student of the Year, which was, an incredible accomplishment for Rob. This senior class is special, how great of students they are and how great of people they are. And they've been great leaders and great players for us, and we've tried to put a lot on them and really challenge them this year, and they've really risen to the occasion. So, but for Tanner to win that, it's just a tribute to the consistency he's shown on the field, and then he's such a high character guy, and academically he's very, very academically inclined, and he's done really well, and he's going to be an incredibly successful person for sure.
And a guy that could do our taxes for us, hopefully.
He can do a lot with people's money, so I would let Tanner manage the money, I guess.
him and Rob, they'll be making a lot of money.
That's right.
Kyle, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you before next week's opening round.
Thanks, Rick.
That's Kyle Gould joining us here on the Ivanhoe's postgame show. Taylor comes up short today, 2-1. Huntington walks it off here in the bottom of the 9th. They will take on Marion coming up here in about 20 to 25 minutes. If Marion wins, tournament's over. They win the Crossroads League title, and they're on to the national tournament. If Huntington wins, we'll come back here for a winner-take-all game coming up tomorrow at 3. This has been a presentation of Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. We'll talk to you next week, Taylor Baseball fans, before the opening round tournament game coming up on Monday. The bracket will be announced on Thursday at 4 o'clock on Facebook, on the NAI Facebook page. That's where you can find out where the Taylor Trojans will be going and who will be coming here, I should say, to Upland, Indiana to take on to take part in the Upland Regional. So thanks to Brad Timmerman, our producer today. We thank you folks for tuning in. We'll be back in about a half hour for all you Marion and Huntington baseball fans for the league championship game coming up. First pitch scheduled for around 6 o'clock. This has been a presentation of Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.